press the bell icon on the YouTube app to never miss a video from News Laundry.
Welcome to News Laundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. News Laundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a News Laundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं भूलते. So we are back. This is Manisha Pandey. I'm back as your host because Abhinandan Sekhri is on a Videshi Brahman. Actually, both Madhu and Abhinandan are in Boston right now. They're going to be speaking at the Harvard India Conference where News Laundry has curated a few sessions with the university on media. And as it happens, some of our subscribers in Boston told us that they'd like to meet both of them. So we're going to arrange some sort of a meetup between Abhinandan and Madhu in Boston with our subscribers. In case you missed all that action, write to us at contact@newslaundry.com. We will email you the details. The subscribers meeting is scheduled around February 12th, which is evening of February 12th. And all the details of it would be sent to all the relevant people. But write to us in case you want to meet them and we'll schedule something. We have our regular panel with us, Anand Vardhan.
Hello.
We have Meghnad, again coming back on Hafta.
Yeah, hi. Not a regular, but looks like I'm becoming one now.
Yeah, almost regular. Anand Ranganathan.
Hello.
And Raman Kirpal.
Hello.
Hello. So we have a lot of things to discuss and we'll just get right to it. We lost 4 army personals this week in a ceasefire violation across the line of control. One of them was a very young, recently commissioned captain, Captain Kapil Kundu. Amit Shah made a debut in Parliament. He spoke, after which Modi spoke in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. That created quite a stir. It got everyone talking. So we'll talk about that. There were bypolls in Rajasthan where BJP suffered a huge jolt. There's crisis in Maldives. If you want to talk about that, some international relations. And there was a gruesome murder in Delhi of a young boy, Ankit Saxena. He was in love with a Muslim girl. And the girl's family, the father, the mother, and the brother, I think the brother also is accused in the murder. He was murdered right in front of, it was a broad, not daylight murder, but like in front of everyone. It was a very gruesome murder that got everyone talking. So that's something that we should discuss. And of course, the Rafale deal. Is it a scam? Is it not a scam? Is it, what is it? There's just too much conversation on it. And even I'm confused about it, but I'm hoping our panel will have stuff to tell us about it. So let's start. What do you guys want to start with?
But before we start on that, one of the remarks that the Prime Minister made was concerning Ramayana. And we have Meghnad here.
Oh,
so
yes!
Can you please share with our listeners your trademark laughter?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have a laughter.
Really? Meghnad has that?
Okay. I should, to give context to the listeners about what happened.
So what happened was that the PM was speaking and Renuka of the opposition, Renuka, my friend, my neighbor, Renuka Chaudhary of Congress she was cackling. She was like, I don't know why she was laughing though. And
she has a lovely laughter. I don't know what's wrong with this world.
So Venkaiah Naidu was trying to calm her down and say, don't laugh. And Modi said that don't stop her. Ramayana ke baad pehli baar aisi hasi sunne ko mil rahi hai. People all obviously thought he's equating her to Shubhnakha. But I was like, it could be Sita also. It could be anyone's laugh.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Sita Mata laughed like Renuka, I don't think. I seriously doubt.
A lot of people took offense to that. Do you think there was anything offensive in that comment? No? Yes, no?
I think it used to be Ravana's laugh, na? Ravan. Not,
I mean,
not Meghna.
People said I think Shubhnakha ka equivalent.
Kumkaran, I think.
That she's a...
Any evil female character.
There's only one evil female.
Seriously, there's only one female evil character in Ramayana.
In Ramayana, Shubhnakha is the
just
one.
Shubhnakha and
Tadka. Kekai is also kind of evil.
Kekai is evil.
Mantra.
We have
but
amazing knowledge.
I think he was talking about I think he was talking about Shubham. Anyway, so yeah.
Ravan also had a very pronounced laugh in televised version. Arvind Trivedi.
But that was to do with his laugh was amplified 10 times. Na? I mean, 10 heads had to laugh.
Exactly. That's true. Eco effect already there.
That's true. Okay, anyway.
It was a one-man ecosystem.
But was it offensive? I didn't think it was offensive.
Not at all. It was delightful.
It was a nice sense of...
What surprised me was that just a week ago, and I'm all for I always admire Renuka because or Miss Renuka Chaudhary. I mean, if you don't know her, then I also don't know her. Okay, and I thought she has a delightful sense of humor and this delightful laughter. And if you remember the Burberry thing that happened with Rahul Gandhi, she said 700 रुपए में मैं दिलवा दूंगी सरोजनी नगर से और मोदी जी को दिलवा दूंगी. I only know his 56 inch छाती measurements, but if he's willing to give me more measurement, and people took offense to that. That was wonderful. And now the irony is that she has taken offense to this remark by Modi, which is ridiculous.
She said ki
privilege motion against Kiran Rijiju she's going to
And one more thing that Renuka Chaudhary did, which I really admire, was when the transgender bill was in Rajya Sabha, when Tiruchi Siva was first introducing it, she was one very vocal supporter, and I think there her voice actually helped because you could hear her very clearly while Tiruchi Siva was speaking and the other side was opposing the bill. She was like, "Arey kar lijiye pass, kya hota hai tumhara, kar lijiye bhai, kya ho raha hai tumhara." She continuously did that and she was very vocal about it. I really like that, she stood up for, the transgender bill and tried to push it through, etc. About this laughter, I don't think it was offensive. I think just for Modi to come up with that one line at that point of time, I think that's nice. Yeah. And Parliament में repertory जो भी बोलते हैं वो होता रहता है. Repertory. I'm sorry.
Okay, Anand, what did you think of the speech? Was it worth the hype? Was it that exciting?
No, it was a campaigner's speech and Modi is comfortable in that way. What was the context of the speech? It was in context of President's address. So it had to be comprehensive. It had to address different sections of governance, policy framework and different things. So he touched upon a lot of things. But being a seasoned politician, apart from being the Prime Minister, so he had to blend that with his pivotal position in the ruling party. So it was a blend of a campaign as well as hints of policy directions. Now, the kind of speech that he gave, so if Modi is out of power, say in 2019, I think he would be a very difficult opposition leader to reckon with, because he has in him to galvanize the negativities of opposition. So if as a opposition leader, if you the natural position of a politician is to oppose. It is very difficult to defend governance. It is always the easier way out for a politician to oppose things, and that is his default mode. So, Modi as an opposition leader, say post 2019, would be a difficult man to reckon with, means if he is not voted back to power.
Oh.
Is it true that Modi has never been in the opposition ever, even in Gujarat?
Yeah, means
I don't think he has, because
he hasn't been.
His first elevation to position in government was a chief minister.
Chief minister, yes.
So no.
So he's never been a normal
it'll be really,
MLA or an MP either.
It'll be strange to see him in the opposition, just to see what sort of.
I actually agree with him, Anand, because I think he will make a great opposition leader. I do now. I'm thinking of it more, and it would be nice if he was across the aisle. He would give
So you would want that?
Absolutely. No, I think Raman sir first to give your comments, then. So what I think about the speech. So here's the thing, right? Whenever Modi comes and gives speeches on two occasions since he's been in power. He has done it on 2 days in Parliament. One is the presidential address, like when the president's address. And the second is Constitution Day. Right, so that is the only 2 days he has actually spoken in Parliament. He attends sometimes, he shows his face, he goes away.
Sometimes he speaks and goes.
Yeah,
the last time he didn't wait.
There is a specific time assigned when everybody knows the Prime Minister is coming. And I know for a fact that, every BJP person is supposed to be there behind him to cheer and laugh and whatever.
So we don't have a question hour?
We had a question hour, but so
Not
he
anymore.
spoke. We did.
Okay.
Even that day it happened. In the president's address, which he was responding to, is basically given in a joint hall. Like Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha sit together, and then the president gives the direction of the government, etc. And that is written by the government. The president is supposed to read it out. After that, there is an discussion that happens on the motion to the president's address, which can be amended by the members. So members can actually put in lines, anything they want, and if it gets approved, the president's address changes. What Modi was doing was he was responding to the various comments made by the members of parliament, right? That is essentially what he was doing. So in that context, when he spoke in Lok Sabha, he was very Karnataka heavy because he constantly kept poking Khadge. Right, because he is from Karnataka, and he spoke a lot about the Kalburgi railway line, which his government completed and their government didn't, and it has been going on since Vajpayee's time, etc. And on the other hand, in Rajya Sabha, he also mentioned in Rajya Sabha that this one person from Lok Sabha, as if nobody knew. People when they come to Rajya Sabha after getting defeated in Lok Sabha, then their style changes, etc.
And Jetli was sitting next.
Yeah, Jetli was sitting there. But the point I'm trying to make here, the larger point, he gives the same speech in Lok Sabha, then he goes to Rajya Sabha, gives the same speech in Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha thing came out clearer because everybody was opposing him in Lok Sabha. Everybody was screaming and shouting. So that's the context. Now,
but do you think there was just, Anand, like a big criticism was there was just focusing on Congress and the ills of Nehru. Do you think that was valid?
Yeah, but I would have, before you had given your summary, I would have said that I found nothing special in the speech. It was, as Anand Vardhan also said, it was like a campaigner speech. But what you said now makes sense, that the president's address is commented upon. So it would have been commented upon by a lot of Congress people. And hence now Modi's barbs at, whatever he saw the comments on. So maybe that makes sense. But otherwise, it was a campaigner. What was so special about it? We know he speaks very well. He's a good orator and he can hold his ground, and, he can make all these barbs and everything. But, different from that. And I would have liked to hear his clarifications on Rafael, or how do you pronounce it? I don't know. Rafael. Yeah. Let's just say Nadal. Okay. I would have. Okay. Some of the things that he could easily have said. For example, one thing which I would like to focus on in this buffoon Katiyar, the kind of things that he's been spewing. And he is, I don't know whether he was present, he's a member of the Rajya Sabha, right?
Yeah.
So he probably was present there. So, this is classic opportunities that Narendra Modi, I think, deliberately misses and leads to a lot of, thinking in people's mind, whether he's serious about, setting his agenda, what he says, sabka saath, sabka vikas, when you have Rajya Sabha members from his party spewing such venom, So I didn't find anything spectacular in the speech, but what you said makes sense now.
Rabin sir?
It was more on the Congress misrole.
Right.
Then I think the Thanksgiving for this president speech. So, and something that I didn't like. You expect a prime minister to be a statesman. As a ruling party leader, if he's criticizing Congress outside Parliament, fine. But in Parliament, you're talking about political morality. You're raising those things, about Nehru and all. Who is not here to defend himself. Of course, Congress may, later come up to defend the first prime minister. So, that is something which didn't go well, at least with me. So, but otherwise...
Also the comparison between Patel and him, that had he been there, a lot of people pointed out that also.
So something, it was not statesmanship, and the political, any politician, forget Modi for that matter, any politician, Congress or the BJP, I do not buy any morality, from their speeches.
But tell me, Ramanji, we always use this phrase that we expect such people to be statesmen, forgetting that over and above, overarching, that they are politicians. And to me, by virtue of them being politicians, they have to be hypocrites. They have to have their vote banks. They have to think like that. So I think we have to dissociate this thing of politicians being statesmen.
No. I said the politicians making a statesman
Like
speech in parliament.
Yeah,
outside I don't
example,
expect.
Because to be honest, I don't think Narendra Modi is a statesman. I really don't. He's a politician.
I can give you one example of when I really liked his speech, which was very statesmanly. Apart from the ones he gave outside, Constitution Day 2015, when it was first Constitution Day when they declared it, I think his speech was very good. Like, he actually spoke like a statesman, where he was talking about the relevance of parliament, how you have to extend the number of days, how lawmaking should be improved, how there should be more participative democracy, and just larger umbrella things which are very non-partisan and very reform based things. He spoke about GST, he spoke about tax reform, he spoke about a lot of things. But what we did not see that day, and I absolutely agree with you when you said there was nothing special in it, I think one thing that we also tend to forget is the environment in which he was speaking on, especially in Lok Sabha, right?
Yeah, he was being shouted.
He was being shouted.
A lot of
initially people were thinking that Congress was shouting, but no, Congress was not disrupting. TDP was disrupting. TDP is their ally. They were disrupting because Andhra Pradesh got less budget from the government, central government this time, and as a result, there was a lot of political upheaval happening in the state, and a lot of people were pissed. So their own ally was actually jumping on him and trying to protest.
That is so irritating though. Like, I don't understand why. I mean, again, maybe it's expecting too much, but just the way they were sloganeering, "Ban karo," usko bolne to do yaar.
Pakodebaji, ban karo, pakodebaji. That was a new slogan this time. Amazing. Some slogans was what? Pakodebaji ban karo, ban karo, ban karo, and Fekugiri ban karo. Many slogans.
But how did it sound? Coming from a Telugu.
No, so those were Congress slogans. TDP just was like "Anyay ban karo," give us justice. That was English slogans. So you knew when English slogans were happening, that was TDP. When Hindi were happening, that was Congress. Because Congress has a specific person who screams the initial line and then everybody else follows like "ban karo, ban karo."
So, but to come back to what Anand said, this thing, it is now becoming very clear that people are going into election mode.
Yeah.
Very clear.
In fact, it may just happen in 2018. That's what people are saying. By the end of this year.
So that's one of the questions that I want to throw to the panel. Starting with Anand. Maybe.
Okay. First, now the people who are natural speakers like Vajpayee, Modi, or some leaders in opposition also. So after the television of Lok Sabha debates or Rajya Sabha debates, you see a different kind of speech making. So it may not very much appeal to the educated or intellectuals, but even scoring brownie points or below the belt remarks, they have an audience in certain pockets, and they sometimes get geared towards that. So mid-90s, I think by mid-90s, the television was had live telecast of Lok Sabha debates, and 1996 Atal Bihari Vajpayee's speech is still one of the most viewed programs on Doordarshan. So from them, the tone and tenor, that has also changed tone and tenor of parliamentary speech making. Second thing is about the Patel-Nehru thing, that any party which is positioning itself to be the alternative access to the Congress system is interested in an alternative iconography as a political project. So the erection of alternate icons is a political project. It is not a historical project, it's a political project. The alternative narratives whether identity politics needs alternative icons. And world over, the creation of alternative axis of politics has succumbed to creation of alternative iconography.
So Deen Dayal Upadhyay instead of Nehru.
And it's a very easy appropriation for the BJP to make, because the Congress never actually held Patel as an icon. If you look at it, from right from
Gandhi
1950s
and then Nehru,
onwards.
if you look at...
But in the process, you just tear apart history, you spread lots of myths, and you basically indulge in propaganda.
Sun liya Afrika, mufat khoron. Not to brag or anything, but News Laundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All News Laundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.